Hey, party people. So this is my first time going live ever. Yay me. So you will have to forgive me if this doesn't go exactly as planned or if things get a little bit funky because I have not done this before. So what I'm hoping that I can try to do, and if I can't, then I will end this and then restart again. But what I actually want to do is I just want to share a quick tip with you for logo design and when you're creating those logos if you're doing that on your own. But I really would love to be able to share my screen with you so that I can actually show you what I'm talking about, but we'll see if that works out. So basically what I just wanted to talk about really quickly is when you're designing your logo, whether you're doing a word mark, which is something like Coca-Cola that just has the kind of the typography, or you're doing a design or it's an icon or whatever it is, when you're designing that and when you're creating that, make sure you take a look at it zoomed way out. Okay. I know for me, I had to constantly remind myself to do that because I'm designing on a Mac Pro. And so I've got this huge, beautiful screen and everything looks great until I zoom out. And so what we have to remember is that usually the size that we're looking at as we're designing is not necessarily the size that the logo is going to be, or at least we know it's probably going to need to be smaller in some instances as well. And so what will happen when you zoom out a lot of times is you'll see that you haven't used enough dramatic negative space or white space. And so those elements are way too close together and they get muddied up and you really can't tell one from the other. So when you zoom out, it lets you see that, and it really kind of lets you see what your logo is going to look like from a multiple variety of perspectives. So you need to zoom way in if you're ever going to blow it up and make it really large. And then again, zoom out and think about zooming out to the point of whatever size it's going to be. So if it's going to be on a business card and it's going to be this big, then you need to take it that small and see what it looks like. The most common things that we typically see when we zoom out that we didn't realize before are that white space that I mentioned, whether it's in the space between the letters or it's in an actual design between shapes. We also notice sometimes when we zoom out that the colors don't necessarily work when we're smaller. I've been working on a client's branding recently, and the color palettes are some blues and this really beautiful golden yellow, and it's not super intense. And so when the logo is about this big, it looks great. But when we shrink that logo down, that yellow all of a sudden gets really faint, and instead of looking like a very intentional design that I've created that's very geometric, it almost looks like dots and small lines. So it looks like stars or a constellation, which is not at all what I'm going for. So that's my tip for you. I do not know, and it said I could edit what you guys see. I don't know how to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this really quickly, and then I'm going to start another one and show you a live video just super quick where I'm going to share my screen and kind of show you what I mean. So give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back.